success is measured by what you've done compared to what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to get 100. So 58 at the top of the class is failure because 100 was supposed to be success. So success is not measured by what you've done compared to what the others have done. It's measured by what you've done compared to what you should have done. In essence, success is the fulfillment of the original assignment or purpose for which the entire test was given. Your life, therefore, is measured by why God created you, not what you've done. Let me try it again. Your success in your life is not measured by what you've done, but by why God created you compared to what you've done. In other words, you could be a complete failure and everybody else thinks you are successful because you didn't do what God purposed for your life. Conclusion then is that success is simply fulfillment and completion of original purpose. The purpose for the exam is for me to get 100%. I got 48. So according to the examiner, even though I got the highest score, everybody failed, including me. Because the issue is not my comparison to the others who got less than me, but my comparison to what I was supposed to have gotten. The purpose for the class was 100%. Everybody still with me? So success in your life is, first of all, discovering why did God create you? What was the assignment, the purpose for your birth? Why did you come into the world? And this is really the key to measuring your success in life. That's why God measures success this way. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. He says, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you future and what? Hope. To give you a future and a hope. God has a future, a mark up ahead of you that's supposed to be what you reach. If you don't make it to the future that God intended for you, no matter how many people celebrated you, you are a failure. So success is measured by the future for which you was conceived. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 10 says, if the axe is dull and the edge is unsharpened, much strength is needed. But with skill, success comes quickly. I love that verse. If the axe is dull means that if you don't know and understand the laws and the keys and the principles of success, you will work hard like a dull axe and still not get the tree cut down. You won't accomplish what you were born to do. So life is not really just about working hard. It's about working skillfully, smartly. And the only way to work smartly is to have knowledge of the law. Skill has to do with knowing the laws. A skillful mechanic can fix your car in 1 hour. You can sit by your car and be angry for 2 days. What's the difference between you and the mechanic? He knows the laws of the mechanics, right? So he can fix your car. So you can work hard and still be a failure if you don't know the laws. So what is the laws we talk about? Why do we call it the keys to success? Jesus Christ said these words concerning living in his kingdom. Matthew 16 verse 19. He says, I will give you the keys, notice the plural word, of the kingdom. Whatever you lock up on earth will be locked up in heaven. Let me explain what that means. He said, I'm going to give you some laws. Keys are laws, principles. He said, with these principles, you can stop things from happening or you can start things to happen. And whatever you stop when you use these keys, heaven will back you up. And whatever you allow, heaven will back you up. In other words, you control on earth what heaven does. Wow. I'm going to give you the laws, he says, by which you can actually bring heaven to earth. You can cause heaven to act on your behalf on earth. So whatever you start or stop depends on the laws that you disobey or obey. You can shut down things or open up things depending on the laws you obey or disobey. Is that clear? He's giving us really, notice he says, heaven will do what you do, which means that he's telling us that this ain't up to God. Success is not up to God. It's up to you. If you don't know the keys, God can't help you. If you know the keys, God will help you. Why? Because God is a God of laws. He responds to laws. Just like any manufacturer, you obey the laws of the manufacturer, they guarantee the product will operate. They support their product because you keep the law. So God says, I will give you the keys, I will give you the principles, the systems, the concepts by which we shall have success. Now, I want you to think about this now. Success, as I said, is not really something you pursue. It is a journey. It is a process. You will have success at increments on your way to your ultimate purpose. Success has more to do with moving in the right direction than coming to a destination. Success really is a process, not really a destination. When you make it based on the process to your ultimate purpose, then you are what you would call fulfilled, or you fulfilled the assignment. If I got an A on that test, I would have fulfilled the assignment of the one who said the test. Maybe God does spank us when we bring 48% home. We are proud of something God's ashamed of. We tell God, look how good I've done. God says, you should see what you could have done. You've settled for this? You call this special? You call this success? You embarrass me, he says. And that's why I'm going to share with you the difference between laws and rules. Very important. The secret to success, Joshua 1, verse 8. God told Joshua the secret to success. Here it is. He says, keep this book of the law on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will make your way prosperous, and you will have good success. God gave the responsibility of success to you, not to him. Read that verse again. God says, it's up to you, Joshua, whether you succeed or fail. And it depends on what? What do you see there? Come on, say it loud. What does it depend on? Laws. Yeah, thank you very much. Laws. I told you that success is predictable. You could actually reverse this verse. Let us reverse it, okay? If you do not keep this book of the law on your lips, and do not dwell in it day and night and meditate, and do not be careful to do everything in it, then you will make your way a failure and poor. Am I right? Yeah, it's reversed. It's predictable. So if you don't know the laws and don't obey them, then you can't pray for success. No one has ever been successful because someone prayed for them or because they prayed for it. Success is a result of obedience to laws. Am I clear? Okay. Why are laws so important? You can deal with this real quickly. Write this down. The key to life is order. Order comes from law. The source of law brings order. When you obey laws, you bring order to your life. The ultimate law, therefore, of life is law, because there's nothing more important than law. What does law do? Laws protect, sustain, preserve, they guard, and they promote life. If you obey laws, they'll protect you, they will guard you, they will preserve you, they will sustain you, and in the end, they'll promote you. If you always do what's right, I guarantee you, you will emerge to the top eventually. People who take shortcuts, people who sell drugs become rich, or people who sell their bodies to pay their bills, or people who compromise in their jobs to get ahead. Don't worry about them. Don't be jealous of them. They will fail. They will fail. Because you cannot break a law. Laws break you. Write this down, please. Without law, there's no definition in life. Laws define things. You put a seed on a tile floor and leave it there for 20 years, the seed will stay there and no tree will come forth. Why? Because you violated the law of the seed. So the laws define what the seed must do. You must put it in soil, you must give it moisture, there must be light, sunshine or somewhere, Otherwise, the seed will never bring forth the tree. So you can pray over a seed for 20 years in the lobby on the tile floor. Your prayer, speaking in tongues, quoting scripture over that thing, casting demons out, will not bring that tree or that seed. Because laws cannot be substituted by prayer. Prosperity doesn't come by prayer. If you obey my laws and keep them, meditate on them, you will make your way prosperous. Prosperity doesn't come by prayer. It comes by keeping laws. Some of the laziest people in the world are Christians. And somehow their Christianity makes them lazy. They want God to do magic. These people are wicked. They look for miracles all the time. And we know what happened when those people asked Jesus Christ for a miracle. They asked him one time, show us miracles. He said, only a wicked and adulterous generation seek miracles. In other words, shortcuts. One of the greatest temptations the devil levied on Jesus Christ was this temptation. He took him to the highest pinnacle and said, jump. That was a shortcut. He said, you won't dash your foot against a stone. You won't hurt yourself. In other words, take a shortcut. Don't go through all that stuff about the cross and, all the pain and the crucifixion and going to hell and rise. He said, look, let's just get over it. You jump now, they'll believe you. And guess what? That was the biggest temptation, That was the biggest one. Because Jesus said after that, why tempt the Lord thy God? In other words, the bread and the power was okay. But this one, he said, this was the temptation. The shortcut. The longest way to success is the shortcut. Tweet that to someone now. What did I say? The longest way to success is a shortcut. Shortcuts means you violate laws. The Bible calls this trespassing. If you cut across somebody's yard instead of going around the main road, you call it a shortcut, don't you? But what are you doing? Trespassing. And Christ says, forgive us our trespasses. Forgive us from trying to make life quick without going through the process of laws. Forgive us for trying to get quick schemes. And that's why people get into problems with business. People offer them all kind of quick, get rich quick stuff. Sell this or do that. That's why gambling is really demonic. Not because you can't gamble, but because gambling encourages shortcuts. And a person who gambles, I guarantee you, they will always be poor. Even if they win once, they can be poor. Don't violate law. Now, I want to show you the difference between natural law and supernatural laws. Write them down. Number one, natural law is inherent in creation. That means it's built into creation. Number two, natural law establishes natural order. Number three, natural law regulates natural relationships. Notice the word natural is from the word nature. Natural, nature. Yeah, it's built into nature. Natural law cannot be changed. Natural law is built-in consequences. In other words, natural law doesn't need God to punish you when you violate it. For example, gravity is a natural law. If you jump off a 10-story building, God doesn't need to kill you. Why? Because the consequence of breaking the law is built into the law. Can I suggest to you that God really doesn't judge you? The laws he established judges you. Natural law has built-in consequences. Next, natural law has inherent judgment. Again, it tells us that it's predictable. If you